And we're going to talk some Michigan football. So if you're out there and you want to get in, get on in. Hey, welcome in on this Saturday, Labor Day weekend. Dennis Fithian along with Jim Scarcelli. We talk a little Michigan football after their opener down at the Big House, where the Wolverines prevail 51-7. They were up 23 at the half. Scar, it's great to see you. How are you? And happy Labor Day weekend.
Football Saturday, baby, up in Ann Arbor. It was nothing but blue skies, blue, baby. Michigan blue. Everything went good. Played a lot of guys. Come out healthy. Everybody's going to be happy in Ann Arbor tonight.
Yeah, well, let's get some of your general thoughts here. There are a lot to get to when you roll up 51 points, and there looked like it was a chance for a shutout for a long time in this game, but a dominating performance. What are some of the first things, if you're really narrowing it down, that you think about with this opener for Jim Harbaugh and company here today?
Hey, let's start, I guess defensively, we played a lot of guys. We got a lot of depth. The edge position was something I was concerned with. The concern is we got 5 or 6 guys that could play. The Alabama transfer, how you say his name, Anoma got in there and did some things. The young freshman got in there, did some things. McGregor was sound. Morris was sound. It was just in our interior guys. We must have played 8-10 guys in there that looked good. We got a lot of depth. We got guys that can play. Our linebackers were good. Mentor was sound, calling a good game. He's got some different thoughts. He does a few different things in McDonald, but essentially it's a lot of different things giving the offense problems. Our offense was good. We ran our power play. We're a year older. We're a year better. I liked the new right tackle in there, Jones, was solid. We're doing some things with him. He's more athletic. We can pull him. They were pulling Uli, the center. We did it last year with Vistardis, but now just about every kid on that front, they're pulling. Our tight ends were sound. Just a lot of good play calling. And, it's a lot of really good stuff. They weren't the best team. I don't know how many guys for Colorado State could start for Michigan. But we did a lot of good things and a lot more good stuff to talk about.
Yeah, how about the quarterbacks? We have known a little bit about how Jim Harbaugh was going to, who was going to be the starter for Game 1 and Game 2, and so Cade came out and he was the starter for this game. How would you judge the quarterbacks from what you saw?
Yeah, McNamara started out a little rough. He threw a low ball early there. I don't know I don't know who was responsible for the almost interception. If there was a receiver, I don't know. I'll wait for Jim to make the call on that. But yeah, he looked a little rough at first. Then he got going. You can see when JJ gets in the game, though, man. There's a few more plays that are available to you. JJ looks a year older, a year stronger, a year more confident. We got 2 kids that can play. We can win with either of them, no question. And it's just like every position on that Michigan team. There are 2 or 3 guys at every position that can play. So I love the quarterback position. And I'm going to get back to that word that's slammed all over Schembechler Hall, man. And the word is team. Team. So, you're going to have to I don't care what position you play over there. There's another guy that they're going to rotate in at every darn position to keep depth, to develop depth. And everybody has to embrace that word team. No man is more important than the team, our old coach used to say.
I got you there. And there are so many different players to talk about, but there is going to be a lot of focus on the quarterbacks. And you talked about McNamara, that first series, and a little rough, and then that near interception. Whether you like it or not, we were going to judge his performance and judge McCarthy's performance in this first one. It was a landslide for JJ. JJ, to me, it would be a real shocker if he's not going to be the starter the rest of the way for Michigan. Now, maybe he comes out, and he shows some jitters or something next week, but if he just comes out and plays like he did today, and he should be starting the rest of the way. And I know that there was a rotation, and there were some plays where there were some different quarterbacks last year. When it gets to be a blowout, you get that. But when Michigan gets into Big Ten season after their non-con with Maryland, and then they certainly go to Iowa on October the 1st. From what I saw today, it's going to be a shock if it's not JJ McCarthy the rest of the way, starting all the games.
Well, we'll see what Jim decides. Cade, he got sacked one time today. Normally he avoids that pressure. He steps up in the pocket. JJ did some great things with his feet. We got that whole playbook that's available. He avoids the rush so much easier. There was a little bit of pressure. He just ran right around it. I was disappointed that Jim called a JJ quarterback run when we're up 37-0. I don't like it. I'm going to go on record. I'm not calling that play with my could-be starting quarterback or, quarterback A, quarterback 1A, B, whatever you want to call them, as to where we are now. But I wouldn't have called that play at that point. I don't want to get him any more run-in plays than he needs to. But, Denny, people are going to debate it. We got two good ones and a lot of football to play yet. We'll see how JJ does next week, starting the game. If the play calling is different, but a lot of players played, and there's going to be hopefully more than just the quarterback dilemma to talk about.
We'll go. I'll make my last point on it, and then unless somebody wants to call, there's certainly a lot of feedback. We'll get to some other things here. I don't think there's a dilemma. I don't think there's a debate anymore. I think that the way that things played out today, it is clearly J.J. McCarthy is going to be the starter the rest of the way. Like J.J. starting next week. And like I said, unless he plays like McNamara did today, then maybe the battle will be on or something. But I don't expect to see that. McCarthy played excellent today. When he ran the ball, he looked great. When he threw the ball, he looked good. And McNamara was completely the opposite. So if you're coming out trying to put pressure on him and say, hey, this is what we're looking for, and I'll go back and I'll just use Jim Harbaugh and what he had to say. He said, well, we're going to go out and see what happens when the quarterback has the ball. How they're going to do in the red zone. How's that efficiency? How do they score the ball when he's the quarterback? They got down in the red zone a couple of times with McNamara. They had to settle for field goals. That is not good red zone efficiency. The one time they did score, they just ran it in there, so he was the quarterback. He put McCarthy in for one play. I don't know what happens with that particular series there. So if we're judging it on how Harbaugh said that he is judging it, it was a TKO with McCarthy coming out on top. And again, we'll have to wait and see what happens next week. But, this is J.J. McCarthy's, I know it's a team game and all that, but the debate is over. It's McCarthy's team. It's pretty obvious. I think that it's 100% J.J. McCarthy right now. And I don't think anybody should think any differently. It doesn't mean that you don't like Cade McNamara. He can be very valuable. He's going to come in and play next week. We'll see what he's able to do there. But, this is what we saw today. This was J.J. McCarthy's the day that he moved ahead to quarterback one for Michigan. All right, that's my final, at least here. We'll go on to some other things, but that's my final thought on it.
No, hey, Denny, valid points. It could be the way it plays out. I got total faith in Jim making the right call, and I just love our situation. That's all I can say about it. We've got two really good ones, and we are in great shape. And I'm just going to leave it and trust Jim to make the right call.
All right, well, let's go. Let's stay with offense. And the Roman Wilson caught that little swing pass or whatever it was out into the flat and took it 71 yards. He's got great speed. It was a couple weeks ago when DJ Turner was in that freak list for the Athletic, and they talked about him running a sub 4.3. And in that same week, Harbaugh was doing his in-house podcast, and he was saying that Roman Wilson runs right there with DJ Turner, and you're thinking, wait, are these guys really sub 4.3 guys? But Roman Wilson, Michigan's got a lot of weapons. We knew that at wide receiver. We didn't see a whole heck of a lot of Andrell Anthony, and we did see Ronnie Bell get back in there. Cornelius Johnson didn't have the greatest starts. He was out there on some of those high and low passes, and maybe dropped one as well. But what can you say about Roman Wilson being able to take it to the house like he did?
Yeah, that was Colorado State, I knew they were going to overcommit to stopping our run game. They weren't going to just let us hand the ball off. And that was one of those situations, we got the ball to a guy in space. They didn't have a lot of defense out there. We're going to take a look at that film here later on in our podcast. But I really liked our off. Yeah, anyway, that was a great play by Roman Wilson. Showed his athleticism, speed and space. But we had multiple formations, a lot of different stuff, a lot of problems we give a defensive coordinator. We started the game out with one tight end, three receivers, and work into then we got into some two tight ends and three tight ends, and it was all over the place, which is good because that defensive coordinator never got comfortable. Their personnel never got comfortable. And I liked it. And I liked how we stayed with the power play. We're going to diagram some power plays, and we really ran it pretty darn well today. They bottled us up a few times, but Michigan runs the power play as well as anybody in the country. And we run it from multiple looks today with a lot of success. A lot of our good run plays were off the power play.
Michigan didn't have their starting left tackle in Ryan Hayes, so their swing tackle Carson Barnhart got the start. Barnhart ends up getting injured in this game, so they have to take their left guard in Trevor Keegan and push him out to tackle. And then you had Giovanni El Hadi, him coming in and going in there and playing guard. So they mix things around. Now you mentioned McNamara getting sacked that one time. That was Trente Jones out at right tackle. That kid put a nice move on him, just went right around him. I think Cade was thinking he'd at least chip him for a second, but I don't think he even got a piece of him.
Yeah, see, Denny, though, that's the time. That's when I thought Cade should have stepped up in the pocket. I wouldn't put that so much on the tackle. Cade normally does a good job of feeling that. He could have stepped up there, and he hey, he wasn't great today, and I put that on both players, the tackle and the quarterback there.
What about the running backs? You go through, and we kind of know Blake Corum and how good he is. He ends up with 13 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. A lot of people want to know what Michigan was going to do if they got into a short yardage situation. And were they going to bring in a bigger back? Was it going to be Khalil Mullings? Was it going to be Tavier Dunlap? Or was it going to be Alex Orji? What it looked like in this game, Donovan Edwards, who showed up last year catching the ball a lot against Maryland. And, you think about, hey, Donovan Edwards, get him out in space, throw him passes and all this. Donovan Edwards was there between the tackle. Give it to me. You need a tough yard. They went for it on that one. They did a hurry up on a fourth down. They gave it to Donovan Edwards. They had it down there by the goal line a couple times, running it between the tackles. They gave it to Donovan Edwards. I think Donovan, whether he stood up and said, I want this job, or they thought that he could be that kind of runner, he was today. So do you think that what you saw there, you might see a little bit more?
Yeah, well, him and Corum are both, they're solid. We've got two good, really, really good running backs, and then a lot of good young ones battling in there. The greatest things about our running backs today, Denny, we secured the football. Michael Hart, again, does a great job teaching our running backs to secure the football. No turnovers always is where you want to start with your running backs. Both of our running backs made linebackers miss at times today. So that's a great thing to see. We get them by the line. They make a linebacker miss. We pick up, make it a 10-yard gain, 7-yard gain instead of 3 or 4. So that was really nice to see. The thing about Donovan Edwards, sometimes he has a tendency to want to bounce everything out. Take it, he rely on his speed to make it he tried to do that one time, and we ended up having to go for convert a fourth down. You remember that play, Danny, where he could have just dove forward. But he'll get better at that. He'll get smarter at that. But in general, our running backs were good. We didn't throw it out of the backfield much to them at all. But both of them are making guys miss. Again, there's some young guys in there. We'll see who ends up being the third guy. But the coaches will get to look at some of the young guys, and they'll figure out who they think the third guy is.
Well, let's just hear it as we talk a little bit more about this game where Michigan gets up early and they're up by 23 at the half. They go on to a 51-7 victory. We started with the quarterbacks, looking more at the offense as well. You talked a little bit about the defense at the beginning, and there was one thing that you're just going to have to see when you have Aiden Hutchinson, who dominated like last year and worked his way up all the way to be the number 2 pick in the NFL draft. And David Ajabo would have been a first rounder by all indications if he didn't have that Achilles injury after the season when he was getting ready for the NFL draft. So those guys, had tons of sacks, tons of TFLs, but what we saw today, and you can almost go down the list. We kept talking about, well, maybe it was this guy, maybe it could be this guy, maybe it could be this guy. All of them today, Scar, look like they were setting up shop in the backfield. It's encouraging. I think it's going to be difficult for some people because it was Colorado State, and you'll say, well, let's wait and see what happens, when it's an opponent, that can block somebody. And there's some truth to that. But you can only go out there and do what you can do with the opponent that you have. And we know that Michigan's got some games here that they're going to look good. But they put that into perspective or context or however you want to do it. All of these guys were at least saying, look, here's what to look for down the line. Or if you want to start talking about us right now, that's fine. But they know they have to prove it too. But, man, I don't know if you even pick one that was the most impressive or ferocious today when you're talking about a defender.
No, because there were so many guys that played, and as a coach, those coaches, defensive coaches, can't be. I mean, we must have played 50 kids on defense. I think 50. I don't know if you can look at that, but I'm guessing 50 kids played on defense, which is a beautiful thing as a coach. Because the practice this next week will be great. Everybody had a taste of the field. Young guys had a taste, so that's a great thing right there. But a lot of great things defensively. I was looking at the interior line. God, we played so many kids in there. I understand what they like about Graham, 55, the young freshman. He is solid playing double teams. Benny got in there. He's a kid that's going to be solid and sound. We're going to get pass rush, Danny. I've said it before. We're going to have the same pass rush, I think, as a unit. It's not going to be so much, though, with our edge guys beating tackles cleanly as much with, what we got from Ajabo and Hutchinson. It's going to be scheme. We got a lot of pressure today from scheme. Most of our sacks we created conflict with the offensive protection. We had some corners coming. We had linebackers coming. So a lot of it was scheme, which is okay. And we're going to get more pass rush from Jenkins. I see a difference with him being nothing against Big Hinton in there last year, but we have a more athletic kid. Our base defense, when we put our base 4-man front out there and Jenkins is in the game, it's going to help our pass rush. I see that big time with him in there.
No, I think that's a great point. Hinton was a space eater, and you saw him mostly by the line of scrimmage. Even today, with Chris Jenkins in there, you would see 94 busting into the backfield and pushing that quarterback pocket back, and then him getting to the quarterback. He could be very disruptive next to Mozzie Smith. I'll give you a couple surprises. Now, I'm not surprised by Jalen Harrell. He played a lot last year, and early in this game, he was in the backfield and he was making plays. That's not a surprise to see 32 in there. Braden McGregor, I know that he shadowed Aiden Hutchinson. Some people say, he looks like him. You're out there, you just look at him and say, hey, you look a lot like Aiden Hutchinson. Today, he played a little bit like Aiden Hutchinson. He looked pretty good coming off that edge. I don't know if that was just one particular move. It'd be interesting to see. But, as a speed rush edge, he was flying in there. Now, the couple other guys that we had heard a lot about, I was wondering, and we knew we were going to see him here in the non-conference, but one, a true freshman as a rush edge, Derek Moore, number 8, everything anybody was saying about him, any good, you could see it. He physically, he does not look like a true freshman. He looks like a senior. I don't know about all the moves, polished or anything else, but he looks like a rush edge is supposed to look at a Power 5 conference or for a top 10 team. He looked that way. And A.B. Anoma, who was at Alabama, we know he moved around, and then, here he is. He comes in late in training camp. He looked like he was shot out of a cannon a couple times. So there are two guys that I don't think you're necessarily, if you're a Michigan fan, and, you didn't even know who Anoma was 2 weeks ago, but there are two guys that I don't know how much they're going to play, but you can see them in situations where you're looking for somebody as a pass rush specialist being able to get to the quarterback. Those guys look like they fit the bill. Sorry.
No, Denny, we have a good problem there. Morris and Harrell and McGregor McGregor actually beat a guy cleanly. He beat a tackle cleanly, made a move. Noma looked good. There's competition now there. There's 5-6 guys that played in there that rotated in there. The downside of having 5 or 6 guys is you're not getting. I get back to that story I told you. There comes a point where you got to keep. Some of your top guys got to get reps. They got to get more game reps. A kid like McGregor, he needs more game reps. But there's talented players there. There's depth there, and you can see with Anoma coming off the edge there. I'm like, wow, who is this 18? And you can see right away, why he was such a highly recruited kid. But he's got to learn all the other stuff. He's got to learn some of the other things they want to do with that position. But I got to just real quick, Benny and Graham, the 2 freshmen, the solid. Benny's not a freshman, but those are 2 guys for the future that look good. Rooks, 54 in there, another guy. The future looks good inside. The edge looks good, like you just talked about. The only thing I didn't like about our defense, I don't think we played enough linebackers. I would have liked to see more linebackers get in there. There weren't a lot of linebackers. We rotated a lot of guys in our secondary. I thought our secondary did a great job covering and tackling. We did a great job defending that bubble screen. They got us one time with it, but we were pretty good tackling with our secondary. For the most part, our defense was really gap sound. There was a couple times we got out of our gaps. There was a couple times I questioned our scheme, what Minter was doing. I didn't understand some of the stuff, some of our adjustments. But he's not going to be perfect every time. But he does a few things differently than McDonald. But basically, he's a guy that is unpredictable. We ran some 3-man front in 3rd and 8, and then we brought 6 guys in 3rd and 8. So we did a lot of different things. No one could get a bead on what we're doing defensively is what I want to see. I don't want to see something that's so darn predictable. We are an unpredictable, chaos-causing defense, and we just got beat the one time. It was the freshman that got beat, right, Denny, on the touchdown. Number 2
Johnson, number 2.
Yeah, that's the only bad play we really had. And the kid made a good throw and he made a good catch.
Yeah.
But he'll learn from that, and it's okay. It's okay to learn from it now. In that kind of situation, but. A lot of good things from the coaches too defensively. Mike Elston's guys played great. That deep front.
Yeah, well, let's look at. I've got a play, kid. I know you said you've got a few plays you're going to put on the telestrator. If I could go ahead and I got one series here towards the end of the second half that we can at least just take a look at really quick and just get a little feel on what's going on. Michigan, they came out and they ran the ball well. I think they ran the ball every play on this series after it was a little back and forth. There was McNamara was out there. They just came out. They just started running the ball. Here you got Donovan Edwards taking it up for the first down. I mean, you're running on a 3rd and 5. A lot of times you think you might want to throw on that, but he just burst through there and did pretty well.
Yeah, that's one of our favorite plays right there. And you don't want to be predictable 3rd and 5, And there's the Colorado State facilities, but our play callers were good. They didn't give up on the power play, and we stuck with it. They stopped it a few times. Where are you at, Dan? You want to take a look at what I had here?
Well, I just want to run this.
Go ahead. Let me see what you got
plays. Here. We'll just run a couple more plays here. There's Corum. They ran every down on in this series. They ended up taking it in for a touchdown. So we'll watch a few of these plays with them going in. I think it was 8 straight runs. They get a little ground and pound going, and that was clearly what they had going for them last year. If
I
you're out,
think we're Denny. I think we're a little more athletic with the two guys that are now in that lineup with our offensive line. With Jones in there at tackle, we're pulling him. We're running some power type stuff, using his athletic ability to pull. We pulled any guy in that front, centers, guards, tackles, which makes it tough on the defense. Okay, here's a three tight end formation.
I think you're going to get, this is the big one from Corum. He looks a little faster. He had the hurdle. He had the Haskins hurdle that he went to. You like that? I know, there's a lot of guys. I know Fred Jackson's on that staff back in the day. He didn't like guys leaving their feet. And I know Hart talked about it last year. It's kind of like when the quarterbacks like running out and throwing behind or, across their body. You don't really like that. But running backs like to hurdle guys now. So, you let them do it, right?
Yeah, you just got to watch the family jewels, man. He got catches you right.
Well, there you go.
There he is, Big Jones, Big Zinner. Zinner looks more athletic. Zinner looks a little more like he's trimmed up. He looked quick out there today. Here's a three tight end formation, and that's a beautiful, beautiful power play. Pick up 5 yards there. There's the young guard in there, El Hadi.
Yeah,
pulling. Again, that's why you want depth. You don't know when you're going to get called to duty. You went from thinking you got 3 good tackles in there, and now you lose 2 of them, and you got to take your third guard or your starting guard and move them out to tackle. Which we ended up doing today. So.
Yeah, and they just punch it in here. This will conclude the video that I have back here. It's buffering out for a second. I don't know if they went to a third down. I think they might score a touchdown right on this one right here. That's coming your way. 8 straight runs.
Another power play, well run, just beautiful. Great blocking on the down block at the play side, and then the pulling and kicking out. Very well run. Untouched. Just beautiful. That's our bread and butter football play right there.
All right, if you're out there and want to make a point, you got a question for Scar. He's going to illustrate some plays, but we'll answer some of your questions if you have any. Anywhere they go. William's saying it's not okay. He got beat more than once. I think he's talking about Will Johnson. There was a play down the sideline that was also executed by Colorado State. They threw on him, and he could have made an excellent catch. And Johnson's hand may have also got in there. So, I don't know. You're going to get beat sometime. So, he's saying it's not okay. He's a true freshman. His first game, he's left out there in one-on-one situation. See what he can do.
I'm sure. I know my first time on the field. It's kind of rough. He'll get acclimated. He'll be a different player. Biggest improvement in college football from game 1 to day 2. Here's game 1 to week 2. Here's a beautiful, well-run power play. We're blocking.
Hold on a second, Scar. You got the telestrator up?
Yeah, I got it up.
All right, let's go to the telestrator. There we go.
Again, we'll take a look. We ran this play probably 15, 20 times today, only with different formations. Again, he has the tight end blocking out, and we're pulling 2 guys here. We're pulling our center here and the backside tackle. 2 athletic guys. We didn't pull our backside tackle much at all last year. With Jones, we can do that. We get a nice kick out by the center, and now the tackle is going to lead through. Corum reads it. Beautiful. Well run, well blocked. Let's go to the next play. This is the touchdown. And again, they're loading up so heavy. They're loading up so heavy on the defending the run. They've got 2 guys out here, and Roman, and we got 3. And Roman can run, man. So let's take a look. We get nice blocks out here. We did a good job all day blocking bubble screen, blocking on the perimeter without clipping, without holding, none of that stupid stuff. So we get good blocks out here. He reads it. Uses his speed. What an athlete, staying in right here.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Puts the move on there. Roman Wilson. What a beautiful play that was.
Nice blocking downfield there.
Yeah, no holds.
Yeah, that was I think we might talk about that being the play of the game,
Yeah, let's Okay, let's take a look at what we got coming up next here.
All right, well, let me give a couple messages out there. Michael said
Right.
he expected to see more tight end action. That may have had to do, Eric All, they mentioned it during the broadcast that he had the birth of his son this morning at 7:30. So who knows what the situation is there. He made a real nice catch, went down to get it. But, when you have, there's Schoonmaker right there. You see his Scar's got the telestrator up there, and some of the younger guys made some plays late. But, when you have the kind of players that Michigan has, I think you're going to have different games. You might see Ronnie Bell have a big game. You might see Cornelius Johnson today. Roman Wilson has the one big play. They still have another three guys that you could mention. You could say, hey, he could have a big day receiving, whether it be All or Schoonmaker. So I think that those stats are going to be spread around for Michigan, and it's certainly going to happen in these first 3 or 4 games.
Danny, my evaluation of the tight ends were they played outstanding. Just because we didn't throw the ball to them a lot doesn't mean they didn't have great games. They did a great job blocking. When we did, maybe that wasn't the plan today. Maybe they didn't think they were. Maybe Colorado State was defending the tight ends. I don't know. I have to look at what they were doing as to why they didn't have many receptions, but they did a great job blocking. Honigford was outstanding, 84. Shooney and Alls were outstanding blocking. We ran I don't know what our yardage was with running the football, but we had great effort. So here's here's the transfer in here. Been on campus a couple days. Watch just the straight up power move. He's right down here. He just puts, and we get pressure from here. And let's take a look. He just goes right through a tackle and a back, and it's a party at the quarterback, man. We get Jenkins in there. Again, this is with Jenkins in the game inside.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing. And again, a lot of this, when you look at, you say, well, you're going to have to say it's going to be a little bit tougher. Well, yeah, it's kind of like sometimes you see a guy and you're like, well, let's see somebody try to block him. Like you had 2 guys with an opportunity, and Anoma looked like he was in fast forward. And the tackle and the running back looked like they didn't know that the ball was snapped. That's how fast he went in there. That was a very impressive, just individual rush by AB Anoma there. That was amazing.
Yeah, he just bowled over the tackle and ran over the back. That was terrible effort by that running back. But I want to draw up this power play. You had it earlier. We get a great down block here by our tackle. This whole play side is just caving this whole wall in here. We get a nice kick. Now we're pulling our center this way, and we got the same play we ran earlier opposite. Now we've got the tackle going to come in here and look inside. And again, we're a little more athletic here at the tackle position. So let's run it through. Nice kick out, and Corum makes the guy miss, but it was very well executed. Beautifully run play. Let's see what else we can get into. Let's take a look at this next play here. There's a little flare pass out there. Great hustle to the ball. You better have hustle to the ball with so many guys wanting to play. Let's take a look at the pressure here. This is let's look at this look of pre-snap from Minter. Right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys at the line of scrimmage. We're challenging both we got both linebackers on the line of scrimmage. We got both edge guys up, and there's only 5 guys blocking here in the back, so they don't know what's coming. This is how you manufacture pass rush. This is how you help your pass rushers, by putting conflict. The offensive line doesn't know what's going on. We're running slow. So the only guy he's dropping is the edge guy on this side. All 5 are coming at the top. And we run a little stunt there, and somebody comes underneath, and we get pressure. Let's take it from the top. Good job at the top. We get an edge contain at the top. And it's a party at the quarterback, but good job with contain. You always got to contain. And here he gets it off, or no, and then we get him again. We hit him here for a touchdown.
Nice.
Let's clear that. Let's run it back. This will be the last play, Denny, we can look at, and then we'll wrap it up. But we get pressure here. We're creating conflict for the protection. Let's start right here. Okay, this look now, we've got 4.5, 5 guys at the line of scrimmage. They got one back protecting, and we're bringing all 5, and we're bringing the 6th guy late right here. Bringing the sixth guy late, and the top, the nice pressure at the top. Just runs that tackle right over. See what he does at the top there?
Yeah.
I can't tell who that is. He's just running him right over. That's great pressure. We got the edge guy at the top. We got Morris down here at the bottom, and it's just they got problems.
Yeah, they manhandled the tackles today.
Well,
go ahead.
Denny, when you rush against, and this is why you got to keep playing till the whistle too. You always teach your guys that. And give this kid a lot of credit. He's playing till the whistle. You always teach your guy, to do that. And guy, what were you just saying? I was going to comment on about.
I was just saying that they were manhandling the Colorado State tackles, the Michigan defensive ends and rush ends.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Here's not a good play. They bled us out. But the thing about Denny, when you play at Michigan and you go against Ryan Hayes every day in practice, here's some more pressure. You go against Ryan Hayes. Okay, and in practice every day, and now you got to go against this guy from Colorado State. Are you kidding me? That's why it gets back to iron sharpening iron. Here we are again. Now we got 1, 2, 3, 4. They've got a 6-man look at the line of scrimmage, and they do a real good job here on this backside. I watched this play slowly many times. They're all going in the right gap. He's got to shoot inside. He's got to rush out here, and he's going to rush off the edge. And the guy that ends up coming free is, I think, is Jenkins again and Harrell. But, again, there's confusion with the protection because they don't know where we're coming from. But you get a couple guys get singled up, and we get them down. Let's take it back and run it through. This will be the last play, Denny.
All right.
But again, there's confusion here. They don't know who's rushing, who's dropping. The downside of this, though, for Michigan is if you are dropping him, he has a long way to go to try to get into a drop zone. Okay, but with this scheme is easy. They usually don't ask him to come out here and wait and get out here in the flat. Usually they just have him drop back in here, which is smart coaching if you're going to run this kind of stuff to create conflict. But that scheme isn't just about one guy beating a guy and just it's playing vanilla stuff. And there's the Graham kid. He got a lot of snaps. The freshman.
Yeah,
got a lot of snaps today. Another well-run power play. Corum knocks it outside. But again, well, if you want to look at that play, Denny, this is the stuff. This happens. Let me get to it. This last power play by Corum. He's reading this thing. Here's a power play. He's reading it. It's supposed to hit in here. This play side is all blocking down. Okay, and we're pulling the backside tight end, and this backside guard is pulling around too. Or that's the center again. Center and the backside tight end. So we're blocking everybody down play side, pulling the center and the backside tight end. This play is supposed to hit in here. Okay, but the kid from Colorado State does a pretty good job. He blows up our center a little bit, and now the tight end reads it. And this corner is out of position. He should be outside of number 1. He takes a chance and goes inside. Corum reads it, says, okay, if you're going to take that shot, and this is a great job by our receiver, Andrew Anthony, blocking this guy. He stays on him. He doesn't clip him because this corner's taking a shot here that's very risky, and he ends up giving up a lot of yards. Corum reads it because the play's trying to hit in here. Corum reads it and bounces it outside. So that's a good job by Anthony. And nice. There's the athletic ability. And we can do some more diagramming this week, Denny.
We'll do it. We'll do that on Thursday. I liked it. All right, let's get some final thoughts. Like the defense, you got some grades for the defense, offense, overall. Let's hear some of your thoughts overall and get some grades.
You know, I thought Mike Elston was outstanding in his interior guys. There's definitely some good youth in there. I thought our George Hilo and the linebackers, I'd like to see them play more guys. We got good. We know Junior can play. Michael Barrett got a lot of reps in there. But our secondary was great with tackling. I thought all of them were good. So I think our defensive staff, got a real good grade. I liked Weiss and Moore with the play calling. It was all over the place. We called the game. I thought they called the game like we would against Penn State or against Michigan State or against Ohio State. We threw it on first down at times. The play calling was good. It was hard to figure out what we were gonna do, but a lot of good grades, Danny. For I don't want to go over each player individually, but there's a lot of good things to see. A lot of depth. The future looks good. Our kicking game. We didn't talk about the kicking game. Are you kidding me? Bo would have my butt neglecting the kicking game. How about our kickoff? How great was that? We kicked everyone into the stands. You know how nice that is? Everyone was in the stands. How about our punter? The job the punter did. Outstanding. And our coverage team was great. I mean, we punted the ball deep, and we had great coverage. That stuff is huge in a big game. Huge. Our long snapper, Wagner's his name, 49, Denny. The kid's good. Every snap was great. Our punt return team was good. One time we screwed around. I don't know why we're getting near the ball when it's bouncing around. I'm shaking my head. Jay Harbaugh will straighten that out. I don't understand that. But then our field goal kicker, our All-American field goal kicker. How about that? Kid was outstanding. So Great win for Michigan. Everybody's happy. A lot of guys played. Practice this week will be great. We'll get ready for Hawaii, but they may sneak in some Michigan State, Ohio State type stuff this week. Believe me, the players, they won't tell the players that, but this is the kind of week you sneak in some stuff, maybe plays you're going to work on, the trick plays, but you're going to, we got to get ready for Hawaii, but, we're going to take some time to work on some other stuff too.
Yeah, I liked everything I saw, especially from the defense. I mean, they were very active. They were flying around, Moody and, Robbins, when they're talking about their mustaches and, these guys are just, kicking the ball to the moon and through the uprights. You like to see that. Roman Wilson was back there to receive the kick. And, with his kind of speed, you could see him being dangerous in kick returns. We know what A.J. Henning can do in the return game. You go to the offense, they've got some games. I don't know the severity of the injuries there. 2 tackles going down. That's going to be something that you're going to want to take a look at. Cade was shaky out of the gate, and there's a lot of pressure on him, I guess, because we were taking this as a 2-game season. It was going to be the starter, and he stubbed his toe. So I don't know. Where really he goes from here. I wondered what. I'll ask you specifically, Scar. When they finally put J.J. McCarthy in, he put him in for one play, and then he handed the ball off and then took him out. And then he's putting McNamara back in there. To me, that serves no role. I mean, you're trying to see what McNamara, you're putting the pressure on him. This is the game. Hey, you want to put McCarthy in there? Do something. You're going to give him a series. You're going to give him a couple plays. Putting him in there for one play doesn't make any sense to me. For what Harbaugh was doing there. I don't know, you're trying to get his, his feet wet before he gets in there for a series or something. You think he's going to throw off the defense. I thought it was odd. I don't like that. It just reminds me if they get into the teeth of the season, Have a rhyme or reason what you're doing with the quarterbacks if you are putting one in there. And that seemed to have neither rhyme or reason. But I'll ask you. Did
Yeah,
you
maybe Jim will explain it. I don't know. I don't know what his thinking is there. But I tell you what, I like to see. I did like to see our third quarterback get in there and look really good, look confident. Because again, we're one play. He's one play away from being the backup.
Yep.
Bowman. So it was good to see that. I liked the little package we got with Orgy in there, running the quarterback. I like that stuff. Get him confidence, get his feet wet. He might be our guy in 3 years.
Yeah.
Let's start getting him ready, playing in front of 100,000. Playing on national television. So, I liked. Denny. Look, it's a good problem. A problem at quarterback is when you got one and the guy twisted his ankle. He smashed his finger. That's a problem. We got no problems. We got good problems. Okay, we're holding pocket aces. So I ain't worried. We're rolling. We got a lot of depth. We're getting better. A lot of guys played. Everybody's happy. Be all smiles at practice and a lot of competition, man. That edge room. I tell you, the guys coaching those edge players, you better be every single drill you do in practice. You better be coming, man, because there is competition at all positions to get on that field.
Great stuff, Scar. We'll talk with you on Thursday. That'll be a lot of fun. We'll look at further into some of the plays. We'll see what comes out of this Saturday, and then we'll be ready for a night game against Hawaii. Great job today. Always great working with you. We'll see you on Thursday.
Go Blue. Hey, by the way, 2-0. Scar's 2-0 on the picks. Everybody, I told you you want to win some money, right?
Yeah, who did you take today?
I had Michigan. I had Michigan. I had Northwestern last week. So
you're right.
You want to win money, you go with Scar. Scar's picking winners.
That was a winner. Great job, Scar. 2-0.
All right, man.